Victim to nutrition myths? Well, you are not alone. It's so common that it's considered a major public health threat.
Nationally recognized registered dietitian and co-author of The Real Skinny, Julie Upton, joins us now to help set the record straight about the most common internet nutrition myths. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
It's always trouble when we go Googling and think we get answers. Yeah.
The internet is great for so many things, but not for nutrition information.
Usually not.
A lot of misinformation there.
Yes, because there's so many people who call themselves experts, but they're really not. They have no degree in nutrition whatsoever.
Well, we brought some things down the line here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them. We'll start with oil.
Let's bust the myth there.
Well, coconut oil is the myth that coconut oil is a cure-all. It's marketed to banish belly fat, to reduce risk for heart disease, dementia. So many things people will say coconut oil will do for you. But according to the Food and Drug Administration, it does none of that. In fact, it's so high in saturated fat, it may increase your risk for heart disease. So a tablespoon of coconut oil has the daily limit for a woman of saturated fat. So yes, you could have a tablespoon of coconut oil. You can't have any other fat for the rest of the day.
No kidding.
No kidding.
And you know we all do. You typically get more
Yeah,
in
so
our diet.
the oils you want to have, are, and the other cue here that coconut oil is not that great is see how solid it is at room temperature?
It's gelatinous, yeah.
Right. It's like bacon fat, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go
because
with
it's fat.
Because it is high saturated fat. That's why. Saturated fats are solid at room temperature, so that's why it's not that good for you. Go with something that's liquid at room temperature. Extra virgin olive oil, canola oil, corn oil, safflower oil, any of those will be lower in saturated fat and better for you.
Gotcha.
Well, let's move on to canned foods.
Yes.
Are they as good as fresh?
Well, several studies show that they are equal to or sometimes higher in nutrients than their fresh or frozen counterparts.
Oh, this is great news because I like the canned stuff better.
Well, it's a lot easier too. And this is because the produce is picked at peak freshness and it's canned within a couple hours to lock in the nutrients, the flavor, and the freshness. So a lot of people would say they'd pick the fresh tomatoes as being higher in nutrients. The canned have several times more of the absorbable form of the antioxidant lycopene in the canned form versus the fresh. So, and lycopene is what gives tomatoes the anti-cancer properties, the heart health properties. So certainly, I know I rely on my canned foods in my pantry at least a couple times a week.
Wow.
Now let's move on to drinks.
Yes.
Diet beverages. They are often wrongly accused of contributing to weight gain, but they have no calories. So that's kind of odd, right? Like calories are what makes you gain weight, too many calories. So this happens because some population-based studies that show an association from one thing to another, but they can't prove cause and effect. These population-based studies show that people who are the most overweight tend to drink a lot of diet sodas. But when they look at their total diet, they have the most calories in their diet. So they tend to be the people that say, and this happens a lot, well, I had a diet soda at lunch. That allows me or permits me to have dessert with dinner, right? So they use diet beverages as a way to give them permission to overeat later.
So that's where the statistics
that's where it goes wrong.
That's
so in a recent 12-week human clinical trial, which can show cause and effect, half of the group of dieters drank diet beverages, the other half had water. Those who drank diet beverages lost 13 pounds on average. That's a little over a pound a week. Those who drank water only lost about 9 pounds a week.
No kidding.
So actually, in a human clinical trial, it shows that diet beverages can help you lose weight.
No question.
Yes.
Now let's move on to the myth regarding
gluten-free. Gluten-free is better for you, right? How many times have you heard that?
Well, it's better for you if you have a gluten allergy,
well,
perhaps.
If you're of the 1% of the population that
but
is
it
truly,
seems like everyone has a gluten allergy nowadays.
25% of shoppers buy gluten-free foods. Not 25% of our population has any sensitivity to gluten whatsoever. They buy it, at least my clients buy it, because they think it's going to help them lose weight. They think these foods are healthier for them. But in fact, the gluten-free foods have more sugar, more calories, less fiber, and fewer nutrients than their gluten-containing counterparts. And so many of them are just simply junk foods. You know, like, really? You need a gluten-free brownie mix? It's still a brownie, right?
So you're better off eating the real thing and
you're
eat it in
better off
moderation?
eating quality carbohydrates like I have here. whole grain, wholesome whole grains. Pasta is a great, it's high in gluten, but you know, the Italians are so much thinner than we are, and they eat like 10 times more pasta than we do.
The Italians in Italy are.
And if you don't have the allergy, you're okay.
Pardon me?
You're okay, again, because most people don't have an allergy to gluten.
The very few people
1%,
have,
as you mentioned.
Yeah, 1% have a true celiac disease. And actually a study that was recently done, and 90% of the people who said they had allergy or were sensitive to gluten in a medical setting, they were blindly given gluten-containing foods. They had no issue with the protein whatsoever.
Wow.
90% of the people who believe that they're sensitive to gluten had no sensitivity to it whatsoever.
I'm glad this is why we have you here, to kind of clear the air. And you do have a home on the internet, so
Yes, I
hopefully
do.
when people Google things, they might land on your page.
Yes, and we are dietitians, so we are giving the truth behind you know, these nutrition myths and helping to give good, solid information. We are credible. Be wary of where you're getting your nutrition information on the internet.
Get recipes on the website as well?
We have everything on there. We have what we eat on a daily basis, what we're shopping for, how we lose weight ourselves. We share
and
it all.
Bust a lot of myths
We do.
on there as well. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you.
having you. Thank you. Again, you can get the skinny on what's a myth and what's not. All you have to do is go to the website, appforhealth.com. You'll also see this segment again on our website, vegasmorningblend.com.